I grew up on a family farm in south central Nebraska, livestock and row crop. Ended up going to college, got an ag business degree, and went into agronomy sales, and worked for a company in central Nebraska before I moved here, and started with Trotter, and now here I take care of dispatching trucks and field scouting and giving farmer recommendations, and also show them new products that are out there, and trying to improve yields in any way we can. Mainly crops grown around here are corn and soybeans. We use the AVAIL in dry phosphate fertilizers. Our ground around here ranges in pH from anywhere from 5.5 to 8.5. So we have a lot of variability there, and this is a product that helps the phosphate to stay available to the plants. So we use it mostly in corn and soybean production, and on dry and liquid fertilizers. Last spring I had a customer using AVAIL on all of his phosphate, and we had been using it across his whole farm for a couple years, and we wanted to do a side-by-side comparison to make sure he was getting a yield bump out of it and wisely spending his money. We did a side-by-side test in his test plot. He's a Fontenelle seed dealer, and we ran one tank without AVAIL and one tank with AVAIL, and the side-by-side comparison was 12.8 bushel increase with the AVAIL. Using AVAIL in corn, I've seen on a side-by-side comparison better emergence with the use of AVAIL. The crop looked healthier all year. It was a little bit taller than the side that didn't have the AVAIL on it. We actually took some tissue analysis, and it showed a lot more phosphate intake in the leaves. I feel growers should utilize the AVAIL on any form of phosphate they use on their farm, whether it be 1152O, DAP 1846O, or in any version of liquid starter fertilizer. It seems like it has kept the phosphate more available and increased yields for a good price. We've used the NutriSphere-N in the liquid on corn in this area, especially in areas where farmers aren't able to incorporate any nitrogen in after they've put it on. We've also used the NutriSphere urea on side dress time. We've seen less volatilization of the nitrogen through the use of NutriSphere. We've actually went out on some cooler mornings when the dew is still on the corn plants and put on urea with NutriSphere coating, and it seems to me there's less leaf burn with the NutriSphere-N also. In a side-by-side comparison a few years ago, we applied some urea on about the 4th of July. It was really hot and windy that day. The product coated with the NutriSphere yielded about 11 bushel better than the uncoated urea. Grower response in this area has been pretty fond of the NutriSphere, especially in the urea use. In the summertime when it's really warm and the price of nitrogen being high, a few extra dollars to protect their investment is really important to them, and it also increases their yield, so that also makes them happy too. Right now we're side dressing a lot of urea and coating it with NutriSphere. We're also putting ammonium sulfate with it at about an 80 to 20% ratio. We're coating the urea with the NutriSphere. It's a simple process. We have a 15-gallon cone that we put the NutriSphere in with a small motor underneath of it, and we just shoot it on top of the urea inside of our blender, and it comes out blended, and we haven't had any problems with it building up. On the NutriSphere-N utilization, I think anytime a nitrogen source isn't incorporated in the soil, it should be a no-brainer to put it on the nitrogen source, whether it be liquid or dry. I would recommend AVAIL and NutriSphere-N to any grower that's wanting to protect an investment, especially with the high fertilizer costs these days. Protecting your investment is really important, and then the added bonus that you're getting is more bushels at the end of the year.